Good afternoon, everyone. In today's video, in this marketing minute, what I want to talk about is just one of my favorite topics, the email open rate. And people are always asking, how do I get my open rate higher? What can I do to improve my open rate? And I talk about the fact that you need to be split testing all the time. Because remember, there's a few constants in your emailing. One of the constants is going to be who you're emailing from. And maybe that's something you need to split test. Instead of always sending from the same profile, maybe you need to develop multiple different profiles and see which one is the most responsive. I mean, maybe if you put your name first and your domain second, that might be better. Maybe just your name so it appears less commercial. Maybe your domain first and your name second. You know, there's all these different combinations that can help get your open rate up. But when you have a profile that you like, or maybe you just want to stick with it, or maybe you've tested it, the next thing that's going to happen is going to be your subject line, because people will respond to different topics. So when you want to get your open rate up, you have to have the right subject line. Now, the other thing is you have to be persistent. You may have an open rate that is at a level point, maybe it's going up, maybe it's going down, but you have to keep pounding away at it, split testing every single time. And then you have to keep in mind that people are going to respond to different things for different reasons. For example, in my email bucket today, and this is an email account that I don't use very often, but I still check it because it's the nature of email. No matter how much you don't want to check the email, you still end up checking it. This is an email address that is very old. I don't use it anymore. I have an autoresponder on it that as soon as someone sends me an email, I tell them I don't check this email. But yet I still check it, and that's really the irony of email. Everyone you know will say, hey, I don't bother with email. Email's dead, whatever. It's not true because you see everyone always checking their email. Anyhow, if you notice, I've got these nice little Leatherman here, and I'm kind of a Leatherman addict. I've got this one here that I carry around on my desk. I've got this one I put in my backpack, my computer backpack. I have this one here that I keep in my car, and in every one of my cars I have a different Leatherman. Because A, Leathermen of course are cool, and B, you can always survive any situation if you have a Leatherman. Everyone knows that. That's why everyone needs to have a Leatherman with them at all times. You keep one in your desk at work. You keep one in your desk at home. You keep one in your backpack in case you go somewhere. And of course you have one in every single car. That's just common sense, of course. But anyhow, I'm going through this email, and what do I key in on? I key in on the multi-tool email. And I thought, wow, multi-tool email. It's not something I really need, but of course I relate to it, so I open it up. I don't relate to some of these other things like personal loan, I don't need it. Home warranty, I don't need it. But the key is somebody out there actually needs a home warranty, and they don't need a multi-purpose tool like the Key multi-tool. So they're going to open up and key in, oh, that was a bad pun. They're going to key in on one subject line, while I'm going to key in on something else. And that's the nature of the beast. Now, as we're doing our split testing, not only do we want to do the split test of the original email, okay? And you'll see here that in this email, this is probably one of the tightest emails because we have a 31% rate, a 35% rate, and a 34% rate. That's one of the tightest broadcasts that I have seen that we've sent. Typically, when we send a broadcast, there's about an 8 or 9 or 10% difference in the open rate. And that's really, really important to be able to get that increase in open rate just off your subject line. But what happens when you get a 35% open rate? Well, that means you still have a lot of people that haven't opened it. In fact, you've got more people that haven't opened it than have opened it. And what you can do is you can take that same email, you don't even have to rewrite the content, and just send it by clicking a button. So what the system will do is resend a broadcast to all the people that did not open the email. That's the key. They didn't open it. So they don't know what the content is. So all I have to do is click this button, and it will resend this email to all the people that didn't open it the first time. I can put a new subject line on there. Of course, the profile is going to be a constant. The content is going to be a constant. The subject line, though, is going to be the tested item. So I'm going to just click this button. I'm going to resend that email. And now I'm going to get even more people opening up my email. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely change the subject line. Just like with the home warranty versus the multi-tool kit or multi-kit tool, whatever the heck that was. I need to relate to the people that don't relate to the original email or the original subject line. So I want to change that subject line into something else that, again, I related to the first one. I need to find what the person who didn't relate to this subject line is going to relate to. And by doing that, I'm going to get my open rates up higher. So there's no one silver bullet to getting your open rates up. This is one of those mythological, hey, if you just buy this secret weapon, this silver bullet, this unicorn, all of a sudden your email open rates will shoot through the roof. Well, they won't. And even if it worked for me, it wouldn't work for you because you have a different product, a different clientele, a different list, a different way of building that list. Everything about your business is different, and my business is different than your business. So we have to do things differently. Now, of course, there are best practices. I mean, we're still marketing to humans, and humans are going to act in a certain way sometimes. But we want to take those best practices, use it as a baseline. We want to use it as a starting point. And then we want to start putting all this testing into play. And it has to be simple testing. That's the key. I think I've shown the split testing often enough where you know that all you have to do is go click, click, click to make a split test against 3 different subject lines or 4 different subject lines or 6 different subject lines. I've shown that enough. And if you haven't seen it, go back and check out some of the other videos and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the split testing is very simple. You can split test the profiles. You can split test broadcasts, autoresponders. And of course, after you split test it, I don't care how good your open rate is. It's never going to be 100%. Never, ever, ever. You're lucky if you get it up into the double digits. Okay? So you have to go back and find ways to get more. A, split test. B, hit the resend. Okay, don't let it just sit there. Don't go, well, I split test and some things worked, some things didn't. So yeah, that's it. All right. Go through and recover. Okay. Start doing more creative marketing, more creative email testing to get that open rate up, and do it for every single one. Now, the key is, of course, to do it for every single one, you have to have either a system that is super easy or you have to have a lot of time. So when you can split test your subject line by just clicking 4 times or 5 times, depending on how many subject lines you want to test, when you can come in after your broadcast is done and just click this button, obviously you are going to become a smarter marketer because you won't have more time to burn. You're already booked, I imagine. But you now have a smarter system, which makes it that much easier for you to do the split testing, to test the profiles, to do the follow-up broadcasts with the new subject lines. So we're all multi-purpose tools when you're in this entrepreneurial game. We all have to be the president, the janitor, the daycare center, and everything in between, just like this multi-purpose tool, which, by the way, I just love these things. I can't tell you how much I like having Leatherman and all the tools, and I use these things all the time. I guess I should be shilling Leatherman. Maybe I should sign up as an affiliate for them, but that's the way we are. As entrepreneurs, we are a multi-purpose tool. And if we're not, we don't survive very long. So if you want to be a better multi-purpose tool, if you want to save some time, a whole bunch of time, and get more opens lead to more click-throughs lead to more traffic leads to more sales. You need to have a system like we have in CloudNet 360 that makes it drop dead simple to split test and extremely easy to follow up to get even more opens. This is Gary with CloudNet 360, helping you sell more faster.